Mike, what's up, man? How you doing? It's been
Good.
a while.
Yeah, man. We're out here back in USA and with our TCP Magic Mazda 3 Pikes Peak car. Freaking pumped.
So explain to us what this car is. It doesn't look like any Mazda I've seen before.
So this is the 2022-23 Mazda 3. Stock is a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive hatchback. We have converted it to rear-wheel drive and put a 4-rotor twin-turbo boasting about 1,400 horsepower. So
Did you say 4-rotor?
4-rotor, twin-turbo, sequential 6-speed, Winters quick change.
Oh, that's insane. Can we check that out?
Yo.
Wow. You could fit a 4-rotor in here?
Oh man, there's a lot of, well the thing is with rotaries are such a tiny motor. So yeah, you can fit a lot of room. We've got twin G40s from Garrett. This is a new turbo that I've done a little bit of development with this turbo actually with my son on his, he's got a 13B, so half this motor with this turbo, and it works really freaking well. So we're like, well, we won the championship with this setup, but with twin G35s. Super good response, big exhaust housing on them. So this setup is the first time running it, and it feels freaking incredible. So
where'd you guys build this car?
So this is built at TCP Magic in Kobe, Osaka by Kawato-san. Pretty much him and one other dude have assembled this car, and then obviously myself helping with the cosmetics and the stickers and where I can. You know, it's been tough because we've kind of built this through the international lockdowns. It's been hard for me to get out of New Zealand to help.
So explain to our viewers who don't know anything about rotaries, what makes it a 4-rotor, what makes it a 2-rotor?
Okay, so what you can see here, you've got your housings. So this is where your rotor sits. So usually in your RX-7 is a factory 13B, so you've just got a 2-cylinder with a single, well, they come factory with a twin turbo, but yeah, 2-cylinder. So what we do here, we build the cranks in New Zealand. So we've seen this crank up to Kawato. He assembles the motors here for his cars. So he's done his own port. So it's a bridge ported side plate. So these plates here get ported. The housings get exhaust ports. You know, every rotary builder's got their own little secrets and, you know, just their own recipe of what rotors they use. A lot of the stuff, man, is 70s technology. These side plates, the housings.
Those are all original?
Oh, well, depending on what you do in NA, turbo, the configurations, we try find parts from the 70s, and it's crazy. This is still the same technology from the 70s.
Wow.
And it's still winning. We won the Formula Drift Championship with pretty much the same setup as this. You look internationally, all sorts of circuit racing, speedway, drag racing. Man, rotaries are still on top, man. And that's such a simple, freaking cool motor. And I got into rotaries because they were cheap, they were loud, they were obnoxious, they were fast, and people either loved them or hated them.
They're pretty popular in New Zealand, right?
Real popular. New Zealand, Australia, and Puerto Rico are probably the 3 biggest countries that really push the boundaries for rotaries.
What are the challenges of stuffing this 4-rotor into this little Mazda 3?
So there's a lot of challenges that come with doing this chassis, because this chassis is obviously designed everything from the suspension, the weight distribution, and everything to be a front-wheel drive car. So to convert it to rear-wheel drive, putting the rotary in, easy, because it's such a small motor. Even a 4-rotor, which we consider a big block in rotary terms, is still very small. The other challenges we faced was we wanted to also showcase how fast a Formula Drift car is. So we have actually built this to Formula Drift rules. That's the most knowledge we have when it comes to suspension, steering geometry, and all of that. So we've built to what we know, rather than trying to build, you know, a WRC car or a time attack car. I have no experience in driving, and being a driver, I know the input that's required in a car, and I know how to drive a drift car fast. So a lot of it has come down to Kawato's and my knowledge of a drift car. The biggest thing is obviously then converting it to rear wheel drive. So making a tunnel, that's just some simple fab work. Mounting the gearbox, a lot of it comes down to is the rear end, which you can't see, but mounting a Winters quick change. It runs like a factory I-beam setup, which is like for a front wheel drive car. So it's a solid rear end. So it has no camber gain, has no toe gain.
Oh, it's a solid rear end.
It's just a solid I-beams. And then what we've done is actually mounted the diff rather than mounting it in the subframe. It's mounted to the car. And then the floating I-beam rear end, we've then drive shaft shop have splined us some rear hubs. And then made us some custom axles, custom drive shaft shop carbon drive shaft to link it all together. And then we have 1,400 horsepower rear wheel drive freaking Mazda 3.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the bodywork. I know you guys have some aggressive aero here.
So a lot of my cars were partnered with Miura-san of Rocket Bunny and making a lot of the body kits with Miura. This kit has actually come from Mazda. So Mazda designed all the aero for it, well, all the fenders. So they wanted it to still resemble a 2022-23 Mazda 3 without going too crazy. Obviously, it's a time attack car, trying to get up Pikes, so we want as much aero as possible. We don't have as much aero as a lot of the other cars, but it's a balance of making it still appear as a Mazda 3, getting enough downforce that we need, and overall having the cosmetics that it looks freaking sick. So if we come to the interior here, you can see full TCP Magic roll cage throughout the whole car. It's got a Hollinger RD6 SS sequential, and then we've got a hydraulic handbrake. I know a lot of you guys are probably thinking, it's a time attack car, what do you need a hydraulic handbrake for? Right. Well, that's just my driving style. And I feel like a lot of times, even when I've been racing a GT3 with the McLaren, like coming into a corner and if it understeers, like if I had a handbrake, I'd be able to still commit and you know, just weight transfer the car or just upset it a little bit with a handbrake. Right. So we've got that in there, and of course, because we've built it to Formula Drift rules, we want to have a hydraulic handbrake. Floor-mounted Willwood pedal box. We've got the all the custom steering column. This was actually a right-hand drive car. So
wait, you guys converted it to a left-hand drive?
I rather drive right-hand drive cars. But for the 4-rotor twin turbo, like just with rotary engines in general, all the exhaust and everything comes out on the right-hand side of the block. So when you're trying to get twin G40 setups and massive pipes and turbo smart wastegates and everything else in a short time frame to build the car, we've mounted everything on the right-hand side because I can adapt to left-hand drive pretty quickly. So it doesn't really bug me too much, to be fair. My stadium truck that I race is left-hand drive. I've raced, you know, left-hand drive McLarens and the GT3 series. So
wow, okay.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you have a passenger seat on this thing.
Well, again, Formula Drift rules, and the best part of my job is taking people for hot laps. So got to have a passenger seat, man.
Hey, tell us about these holes right here on the side window.
So that's just for cooling. So if we go to the back, you follow those ducting back through the back where there usually would be a window. You can see we've got full radium fuel system. So PWR custom make all our cooling. So our oil coolers, radiator. So not only does it help with the cooling down the back, usually for drifting because you're always sideways, so having a radiator mounted in the front never really works because it doesn't get airflow. But in the back, you're able to duct a lot of air into it. And then more importantly for handling, it's more weight over the back wheels. Again, I go back to grip, having crazy sticky tires, crazy soft suspension with all the, you know, being able to do that.
That's why you have that air duct right there.
And then have the air duct, so that also helps, that rams air through the radiator.
Hey, so explain to us this crazy fitment. Does this not hit whatsoever?
Just clears. I don't care if it's a drift car, freaking time attack car, or a street car, fitments, everything.
How much of a handful is this in a drive?
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot?
It's a handful, man. Like I've driven this thing, Suzuka Twin, around the slow course there when it's with its first shakedown. Right. Then we took it to Okayama, which is, you know, an old school Formula 1 circuit. And yeah, it was freaking fast. We're punching the laps with the GT3s. Thing is, I come flying past them down the straights, but then the cornering, I got no ABS, I got no traction control, got no stability control. It's all on me as a driver. So I feel like that's always been my driving style though. It's coming from motocross. It's about making that bike like an extension of your body. Right. Drifting, I feel like it's much the same. You're like trying to throw the car because you're beyond its extreme of traction once it's lost control. But you're in this whole other dimension that you're still actually in control before the car's fully looped out. So we've got testing tomorrow on the actual mountain, but we wanted to just come out and punch out some more laps. We've done some more stuff with the cooling. We've done some more changes with the steering. Yeah, just get some more seat time, man. Just get as comfortable as I can because it's going to be a scary run up the hill. still freaking pumping, eh? Shit, it's way faster in real life than it is on the simulator. But I was trying to remember all the corners, and I got like 3 corners in and I was already lost on which corner was which. But until you get to the kind of the switchbacks, then you know, because they're all so different. But the first ones are all the same, so I see why there's a lot of accidents there. But holy hell, the nerves, man, like on the start line. People are like, how do you not get nervous? I mean, I always get nervous. Even lining up, drifting, I'm nervous. Like, if you're not nervous, then the reward's not big enough, you know? Find something else. But the nerves then, holy man, like that was crazy. So yeah, car's mean, a lot of grip. First time running on this new Toyo Slick. It was first time running on the Toyo wet weather tyre. I reckon we'll probably go to Slick next run because there's a lot of grip. Like, it's dry in a lot of spots. It's a little bit patchy, but tyre pressure, if I'm going to run on the wets, I'll probably go a little lower in the pressure, mainly on the back. Front grip was really good. Shocks feel fine. The track is actually really smooth. On the simulator, there's quite a lot of bump. I know when you get higher up in the elevation, it's quite rough, but yeah, kind of don't want to change too much. This morning we're meant to be testing the top section, but it's covered with snow, so right now bottom section, but it's good, man. Good to shake out the cobwebs and into it, man. Freaking pumped now. Yeah.